Hey traders, just another nice day here on the euro. I want to go over two things. Our forex trade around the ECB this morning, and then kind of the trading the last 2 days in treasuries. Um, this video might be a little longer also, but I want to talk about how I'm trading around, basically playing a steepener, a bear steepener. So long fives and short 30s and short ultras, which is really out the curve. But not to make it complicated, but let's just talk about the euro first. So we've been working a course short here for 2 years. Course short just means I have a position that I carry with me pretty much overnight all the time. That's a core position. Sometimes that's long, sometimes it's short, but that's a long-term position. And then I add and reduce my exposure or add and reduce my risk depending on obviously what the market's doing and where price is relative to the trend and where it is relative to the cycle. There's a lot going on in this chart. This is my signals for myself, for my team, and also for those that have my real-time alerts. This is me signaling to them. We have service for a couple different services that, anyway, if you're part of my firm or you know what we do, this makes more sense. But but today, look, we came in, we had nice covers yesterday, covered into these lows, okay, right in front of the 200. If you look at the 30-minute yesterday, we actually held pi, right? This is what we call the pi line in my proprietary trading model. We held that. Coming this morning, you had a nice bounce. So the cyclical move looked like this. All right, down, back up, back down. All right, so we're covering into the lows, reshorting this morning. I sold right into this candle right here, short. All right, and I'll show you in a second. All time stamped in our room, real time. Some of this stuff makes it out on Twitter. Some of it I can't put out because people pay for it. But sold into this topping tail. It's beautiful. I actually sold into the tail before it formed. So, I mean, people that say you can't time the markets, that's old Wall Street. We time the markets all the time. And if you don't have a process that takes in consideration time, then you're trading, on an old model. You might as well use a newspaper or a ticker tape or something. But it's not just about technicals. You got to incorporate the cycles. So when you cover here at the pi cycle, now we come back to the top of the cycle. We were shorting. This was before the ECB, so we're not trading the news. I'm not sitting there listening to Draghi, and I don't have an algorithm that says, "Oh, short, quick." This was before, and I'm happy to do that because I know what my size is relative to how I'm working my position. I was happy to sell all the way up here to 107, the highs from earlier in the week. And I'm even happy to sell even higher, but I know what my size is and where my risk is. So, look, I sold some here, and I was happy if it kept going up. I wanted to sell more and get more aggressive. You're supposed to sell high and buy low. You got to learn how to work your size, though. People that are afraid to have the market go against them, that's what we focus on. That's what I focus on with my traders, is teaching them how to trade in negative territory and how to have the mindset that's actually opposite, where you want the market to bounce when you're bearish and when you're in a bearish trend with the cycle. You want higher prices to sell. You can work a larger position. So it was a very easy thing to do to short in here. It wasn't a lot of size, 200,000. And then immediately the market drops and I start coming out of that. Came out here, covered, covered, covered. And I had a bid in here actually at 105.88, which was the low of the day, and I missed by a pip. But I ended up covering right in here, my last piece. Okay, and then basically took it easy the rest of the day, and I just started laying a couple small pieces back out this afternoon. But this is trading with time. This is trading with the trend. But this is something that I kind of stress, and this is why I started my company, is that time matters more than price. And it's about time that we start to learn to trade with that component. It's true in science, in physics, but it hasn't worked its way into finance for whatever reason. But that's kind of one of the missions that we're all about. Now, what was I going to say? So this is what it looked like on the 1 minute. So this is me trading hold on. This is me trading a core position. All right. And then sometimes, like right here, I'll get heavier intraday. Uh-oh. I'll get heavier intraday, and then I'll cover, and then I'll go back to my core position size. But at this point, I'm short 3 million, covering all the way into this move lower, and then back to comfortable core position size. So we don't get heavy and then just take it overnight. That's too risky. But there's a time and place to put your money at risk while you're watching, especially when the intermediate term trend lines up with the near term trend. Anyway, this is all what I teach my traders. I call it the art of the size, how you work your position, how you work your size. So that was the euro today, and then let's just talk real quick about treasuries. So I've had a good call here, the firm, we've had a good call. So we've had a huge move down in rates, the start of a new, definitely an intermediate term bear market. You're kind of on the fence as whether this is a long-term bear market or not. Depends on your definition of long-term. But nonetheless, when we trade this time frame, which happens to be the daily I have up here, there's no doubt that this is in the bear market territory. Uptrend, downtrend. All right. I teach my traders and those that sign up for my training and are full access. I teach on our model, and I teach you guys this, how to read the trend. But this is all the bands flipped. You can just follow this pie line. Some people use the 200. That's a novice way to approach trading. But this was a bull market. Now we're in a bear market on this time frame, the daily. So what was I going to say? So the call is we've had this big move down, big move up in rates, down in price. Then you had to sit through this oversold relieving bounce. Pretty decent bounce. But we were shorting into it. This is the left-hand side of the chart, I call it. And I was prepared to short all the way back to these, what I call the upper bands with the cycle. Well, that cycle's rolling over now. But we were shorting into these highs, especially you can see it on the hourly. Shorting into these highs, and then we've had a nice last 2 days being short treasuries, especially the long bond. And it's a little bit more interesting on the intermediate term. All right, so this is early in the move, only short small, adding. I point this out for my traders. This is my average cost, out of the money. That's why it's in red. Okay, and then adding up here. This is where I was out of the money, and then yesterday and today we're realizing profits. And now that we've broken, I call this the TMS system, my trend following system. This is broken now to new bear market, so we're going to be even more aggressive on the short side. So I covered into these lows. The next bounce, we're going to be sellers. All right, and our risk is above these highs, this double top high. So I sold into both tops. Okay, covered. This is a lot of movement though, from the high to the low. So I covered, and now the next bounce, I'm going to be even more aggressive short. So we'll see what happens. There's a chance we could just keep collapsing right to these lows. But you give me a bounce, we're gonna be all over this, up around 151 and 3/4, 152. So I guess that's what I want to say about that. Now, I did mention at the beginning of the video, sometimes I'll play fives against my core. So look, you can see I'm short a decent size up here for the long bond, 6 contracts, 8 contracts near the highs, okay? And then I'm coming out to where now I'm only short 2, I think maybe even 1. But I also have even more duration on being short ultras. Selling 2, selling 2. I covered some, still short there. But on this whole move up here, I was playing that intermediate term bull run, or that small little rally, being long 5s. So I'm long 5s and short 30s. So before, when I was selling 30s up here, I was long 5s, taking profits, buying more, taking profits, buying more, taking profits. So what that does is allows me to make some money on 5s while the trend is going this way against me, big picture, before it rolls back over. So you're working along in 5s, then you're starting to work a short the other way in the long end, which are more bearish, bigger picture, more size. So I made a little bit of money in 5s on the way up while I'm working my position in 30s, and then today I actually stopped or took 2/3 of my long off here because I want to ride my 30s now that I'm more bearish. So I don't need this 5-year long exposure, plus the trend broke. So I'm only a small long 5s. You lose a little bit of money, but you make more money on your short 30s, short your ultras, or if you're trading 10s, short your 10s. So that might be a little complicated for everybody. I don't know. For some of you, it might make sense. But this is a cool way to trade treasuries. It's how a lot of institutions do it. This is a very directional way to play it, but this is how I leg in and out of the curve. I'm buying dips on 5s, selling rallies on 30s, all the while building a core short, so when the market does roll over, but you know, I'm making money here on the way up, lightening up, and then trimming my long exposure and riding out my short position on the longer duration, which moves a lot more than 5s. So guys, here's kind of an example of what that looks like. So here's our active trader room. And I went through a lot of this yesterday, so I don't want to just go through all our trades, but this is, this is all time stamped. It's in the active trader room, the real-time alerts, so you can get this on your phone, even if you're at work. Sorry. Oh, that was big. Or, obviously I'm talking through these trades with those that sign up for the full access team. Kind of getting a cold from when I was traveling, I guess, on the plane. But look, so here's where's the start of this day? Pound yen. Oh, right here. This was pretty much the exact high of the day we sold into. So you can time these markets. I've been at this game for a long time, every day, all day, and that's going to help with your timing. But when you understand the cycles and where you are time and space, it makes it a lot easier. Anyway, I already touched on that. So we were selling there. Had a nice trade on. I was short about 800. Oh, that's euro versus the pound. It's a different trade. But here you can see I'm covering. This is after the ECB. I start coming out, signaling all that, covering more. This is the bounce after I covered some of my core short swing trade. Then we bounce. Then I'm adding to my position on the day trade basis or a micro or near term time frame. So our model is fractal in nature, meaning there's big. We look at things on a larger time frame. all the way down to a minuscule smaller time frame. And so here's me covering. I went from pretty short from 700 down to 300. And then these are some other trades, but you can see here on the 5-minute, this is me signaling to short again into the rally, covered into the lows, and sold into the next cycle. All right, so that was a decent morning, 1,900 bucks for basically just traded for an hour around the ECB. Not bad. There's a lot of other trades in here, but I wanted to go over the treasury position. So here's me cutting my risk that I kind of already explained. So I lost 2,300 bucks there today on fives, but I trimmed this position down. But you can also see here's my ultra bond. So I made 1,800. I didn't realize anything there, but that's 1,800 and while this is down 2,300. But then my long bonds are up another 2,600, and I did cover into the lows today more. So we made about 8 grand yesterday. Yesterday was a big day, big move in rates. So that's it, guys. I'm just showing you what we do every day. You know, these are our real-time alerts and actions. But if you're interested in joining the firm, you go to JenkinsRM.com, and it's free to sign up for our chat room. You can learn about our model. You can scroll down here, a little bit about the firm, a little bit about me. I did a video here on the origins of the model, kind of why it works so well and why I built it like I did. And then click here for our services. We have a real-time alerts product. There's nowhere else for this price point that offers signals across all markets, global, macro, long-term, intermediate term, and short-term with my kind of win rate and our kind of accuracy and timing. Just doesn't exist. So that's a no-brainer. And then our full access team is, you know, this isn't for everybody, but if you're serious about trading, you're passionate about it, and, you know, I'm willing to work with you. And it doesn't matter if you're a beginner, if you've been at this a long time, a veteran trader, senior trader, institutional, independent. You know, I teach you our model, and it's a good model. It's kind of what I forged trading treasuries, cash treasuries on the institutional side for over 10 years, and trading forex and options and equity markets also. So anyway, I teach you the model. You get the real-time alerts, which is a huge value in and of itself. All right, and then like I said, we trade together. The room's open 24/7. I have traders all around the world. If you don't want to join the live team, you just want to learn. Some people want that. We have an on-demand course. It's all recorded, 9 hours. We have a whole video library. A lot of my sessions, that's 100 hours. So basically, when you join the team, it's a little bit more. You're basically trading live with us. You're getting both of these, but you're getting the live interaction and you're on the team. But that's $14.95. And look, guys, just reach out to us. I mean, we can work with you a little bit on the price here. But I mean, my goodness, invest in yourself, and I teach you a system that can make you money the rest of your life for basically the cost of, I don't know, a piece of furniture. I mean, it's kind of goofy if you really want to learn a model that is based around time and not just price or technical. So that's what we do. All right, guys. Hopefully I'll see some of you in the room, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.